I'm preparing for the crawfish boil. Say hi, Corbin. Hi. Preparing for the crawfish boil. It looks like it's going to be raining. Well, even it calls for rain. You can see the burner, that propane tank right there in the middle of the screen. That's the propane tank, and then the burners underneath. You got the crawfish pot right there, and the baby pool. This hose, the best way to purge a crawfish, and the right way to purge crawfish, is to trickle water. You know, have the water on real low. A lot of people want to put salt on the crawfish, and the salt makes them lethargic. I mean, they're freshwater, right? So the salt, and a lot of people put too much salt. You know, the best way to do it is just to have water running. So I got some chicken wire. These posts right here are going to go on top of the chicken wire, on top of the baby pool, to keep the crawfish in. They'll float and they'll swim over the pool, so you want to keep them in. Now, a lot of people do things different when it comes to crawfish. My grandpa had a couple 100 acres. You know, he passed away, so we're going to use had. A couple 100 acres. It's still in the family. And they used to get the crawfish and sell them to local restaurants. Let me flip this around. Local restaurants and things like that. America! Well, I'll flip it back. So, over the years, I learned how to, yeah, we got the crawfish. I learned, you know, how to boil a crawfish good. But you want corn? Corn's a necessity to any crawfish boil. Lemons. You gotta have lemons, right? You got onions. You smell that? It's gonna be corn. We got the potatoes. We got a small pack of mushrooms. I got some big bags of boil in the house. Liquid boil. And then a bag boil. I'm gonna save this one for the last boil. The last boil is always your spiciest one. We also have sausages. And this is what the pantyhose is for, guys. The pantyhose, you put your sausages in your pantyhose. If you don't want to fish them out, you can put your mushrooms in your pantyhose. That way, because the mushrooms are going to want to separate. And I got 2 pounds of shrimp. So, but your first boil, or how I do it is, I'll put, you know, a little bit of seasoning, and I'll do my first boil of vegetables with a little bit of seasoning, about half what it calls. Some people, you know, especially with the kiddos, yeah, that's where the crawfish at, is in there. Especially with the kiddos, you know, you don't want to make it too spicy. You want people to enjoy it. So, I'll do my onions. I'll split all my veggies. I like to do one boil at the beginning. One with the veggies at the beginning, and then I like to do a veggies at the end because it's gonna soak everything up. And I like a hot corn. Not too hot, you know, but I do like a little bit of spice to it. So it's about 11:30 right now. Everybody's just waking up, going through the Easter basket. I just know it's about to rain, so I'm just trying to set things up. But you don't want to boil crawfish long. It's another place where a lot of people mess up. You see the crawfish?
Yeah.
You see them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're under the ice. You definitely want to keep crawfish on ice. This is the way to keep them long. They're like crabs. I don't know if any of y'all go crabbing or have had crabs before, but you keep crabs on ice, and it's like they cryogenically get frozen, you know. They come back to life when they thaw out. But you definitely want to keep it on ice. They kind of go into a slumber or sleep. So when you're boiling the crawfish, you want to boil them 2 or 3 minutes. That's it. If you boil them too long, then the shells are real hard to peel. And you also want to put like a 4-pack of butter. The butter makes them easy to peel. Plus it gives it a good flavor. But as soon as you do the 2 or 3 minutes, immediately cut off your burner, add a bag of ice. Boom. That is going to stop them from cooking. But you want to leave them in for about 10 minutes to soak up the seasoning. So let's recap. You boil them for 2 to 3 minutes, cut the burner off, throw a bag of ice, and let them sit for 10 minutes. When you let them sit, that's when they're soaking up all the seasoning. Now, every batch, you want to add seasoning because it does weak. However, that last batch, because you're adding, that last batch is on point. Now, some people will sprinkle some seasoning in the bottom of the ice chest, throw some crawfish in there, some mud bugs in there, and then sprinkle a little bit more seasoning, which is good, I guess, and that's what people do. But look, realistically, you're not getting any more seasoning inside that crawfish, right? You're just putting the seasoning on the shell. And so all you're really doing is making it spicy for when you're peeling, so under your fingernail, if you got any little bitty cut on your hand or anything like that, you're just making it unpleasurable, because it's not like you put the shell in your mouth, and it's not like that seasoning is going to do osmosis and go through the shell of the crawfish. So I think that's just more like an appearance thing, if you read some crawfish instructions online, that's what you'll find. You'll find they say to sprinkle some seasoning on your ice chest or layer your crawfish with seasoning. And personally, I don't do that. It don't even really make sense to me. But hey, whatever floats your boat when it comes to this is really the only real wrong way to do this is boil your crawfish too long, right? I know some people can't handle seasoning, so maybe just put a little bit of seasoning. But look, that's hold on. We got 2 sacks. Each sack is about 30 to 35 pounds. You can see them starting to flicker. They're starting to move around. But each sack is about 30 to 35 pounds. And we picked them up from this place my little brother told me about this morning. We've never bought them from there before. But I was kind of thinking, I haven't opened the sack yet, but I was kind of hoping, hey, there we go. I just got all your comments. What's going on? Oh, well, yeah, man, no problem. Old Bay seasoning? Yeah, so my previous wife was from Maryland, and she introduced me to Old Bay seasoning. I did Tony Chachere's, Tonych, Tony Chachere's, but it's CH. If I get a, I'll show you. But you never ate crawfish. Oh man, yeah. So we go crabbing a lot down here. I live on the Gulf of Mexico, obviously Louisiana, but I'm about maybe 30 from the Gulf, and so we do go crabbing. And hey, Miss Kim's home, and we do boil crabs and stuff. But crawfish, man, that it's just like that, pretty much. What's up? Oh, okay. I'm live streaming, so I'm not. I look like I'm talking to myself, but I'm not. But it's like obviously a Louisiana tradition. Yeah, Tony's is real good. It's that's pretty much what we use down here. I mean, that's Tony's stays on the table. That goes on everything, So it's it's salt and cayenne pepper and stuff. I don't know if Old Bay seasoning's really got the salt like Tony's does, but yeah, I've seen the Old Bay, but we mainly use Tony's. They do sell Old Bay in our in our stores. Chesapeake Bay. That's where she was from, and that's where they would get the Old Bay. But yeah. So let's see. The main thing is you want to kind of like purge the crawfish for at least 30 minutes or so. Just have the water on low, and because they're mud bugs, right? They live in the mud, and like I don't know if you ever seen, but let me see if I can find a crawfish. They would have like these mounds of dirt, and when you see like a mound of dirt, like mini pyramids, there's a crawfish in there. So they live in the mud, they eat the insects and stuff in the mud, and when you peel them, they got a big, like, the poop chute, you know, it's like a vein in their back, and so when you purge them, they're cleaning all that out, plus you're cleaning your crawfish. I mean, you don't, you know, the water, you want to keep the water pretty clean. You okay? Yeah. Okay. You want to keep the water pretty clean, just for seasoning wise, and it cuts down on like the gritty taste. You know, the little longer you purge them, the less gritty they are, because it is. But you know, the lobsters to me are just too tough. Yeah, the poop chute. Lobsters are just too tough. You know, I mean they're good, and if they're cooked right, you know they're really good. But crawfish is just. The meat's just so good, you know, it's white, fluffy meat, and when you cook them right, boy, there's really nothing better than crawfish. Now, you got to work a little bit because they're small and you're constantly peeling, but if you don't mind working for the crab, then you're definitely not going to mind working for the crawfish. So, little man's excited. He's out here. He's a trooper. Everybody else is just still laying around. Yeah, it's just like deveining shrimp. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But see, since they live in the mud, they kind of, if you don't purge them, they got that grit. You know, I mean, shrimp is a little grit too, but crawfish maybe more so. But let's see, Corbs. You want to open up some crawfish and put them in there? Yeah. Yep. Okay. I need to fix it. It looked like it got ding dong. Let's see. Can Daddy push that out real quick? I can. You got the faith. Yeah, I heard your call in last night on Monday, man. It's pretty cool to put a voice to you. I mean, I see you. You know, obviously you're here in the comments. You know, I see you around and stuff. So it's pretty. It's working. It's pretty cool to put a voice to, man, I really like the YouTube, man. You meet awesome people, and it's like a family. I mean, I've been on YouTube since the beginning in 2000, but you meet some really awesome people on YouTube, man. You know, and in the channels and genres that we participate in, you know, everybody's pretty much on the same frequency. We're tired of the mainstream lying to us and stuff, and all we want's the truth. So I really do enjoy. Yeah, we filling it up. We're just starting the water in the baby pool. Turn it up a little bit. That's closing it. There we go. There we go. We got that joker open now. Whoa, 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 whoa. It spray you? All right, there we go. Whoop. That's the bad thing about my son. I'm live streaming and he just has to go pee, you know? I mean, it don't matter where he's at. He's just going to pee. So, yeah, you can see right there, right, that's clean ice. We just put the ice in, and so you can see there already is muddy and dirty. So, let's see. That's crawfish. Yeah, we're going to eat that. Yeah, we're going to eat that. So this sack was 24 pounds. Well, no wonder why it was only $50. Usually the sacks are about 30 to 35 pounds. Skillet fried soft shell crab. Yeah, North Carolina blue channel crabs. Oh, yeah. So the hand lines, yeah, that's what we do. See, I don't know. I'm not really an oyster fan. I mean, you know, oysters, that's a big thing. Seafood's a real big thing. Shrimp, crabs, oysters, crawfish. You know, that's one of our big, over, like, the texture. You know, they're kind of slimy to me. And, hey, you see them pinchers? You see the pinchers? They'll pinch you. But a lot of people, they really do love oysters. You know, I just personally never really got into them. And I know there's other ways to cook them. And, I mean, I've had them before, but just to eat them on the shell, man, I don't know, I just can't. There's a texture or something to it that just gets me every time. Let's see. We might could put both sacks in there. No, I think I'm gonna do each sack. What do I want to do? Yeah, we might as well put both sacks in there, huh? If they're only 24 pounds. Yeah, we're gonna put both sacks in there. There's plenty of room. What? Take them out? No, we're gonna eat them. We're not take them out. And you can see, like, right there, they look like they're dead, but they're keeping like a freezer and a cooler and on ice, so they're just lethargic. They're gonna come back to life. You can see that they're really starting to move. I mean, these are I see maybe a big one. These seem to be like your medium size. I see maybe like that one right there might be the smallest so far. Grilled in the shell gives them a smoky flavor. Yeah, I might, I might could get down with that, because like Buddha, the only way I really like that, I mean, I'll eat it either way, but I really like it on the pit. It gives it that smoked crisp flavor. And so if it kind of dries the oyster up and gives it that flavor, I'm pretty sure I could pretty much get down with that. It's kind of like barbecuing crabs. Killer Tay, what's up, man? It's kind of like barbecuing crabs. You know, there's an art to that, but I definitely like some barbecue crabs as well. You take the shell, and you pull it off, and then so you clean it out, get the lungs and all that out, and then you put the meat side up, and then you could put like Worcestershire sauce and what, Bubba? What? Am I done? No, I'm not done. You could put the Worcestershire sauce and barbecue sauce in that crab, and then you barbecue it, and that's some good stuff there too, yeah. All right. I need to throw this shrimp on the ice. The first crawfish boil, the first run. I'll put this in here. But you definitely want a couple different ice chests. The ice chest is going to be good for each boil. And then also, see, this one looks like 36 pounds. So that one was 24, and this one's 36. So that 60 pound, oh, I feel the difference on this joker too. God dog it. That's 60 pounds, and we paid $55 a sack. So one sack was 24, this one was 36. Maybe if I would have tipped him, I would have got 2 big old sacks, huh? But turn this off. Let's see. I need to. But I hope all y'all are having a good Easter. You know, hope y'all have a good Sunday. Maybe take a minute and just say thanks. And you want crawfish?
Yeah.
We're gonna get the crawfish. Don't you worry about that.
No.
Yeah, they right here. Oh, we're not gonna keep that off. No, because they're gonna wake up and they're gonna want to come out. They're gonna want to come out. All right, got the sack open and I'm about to pour them in. I'm gonna set the phone down real quick. What? What? You want one?
Yeah. It's a pee-pee.
You got pee-pee? It's alive now. Don't let the pinchers get you. Okay? All right. Now that's a full tub right there. No, I don't want to get it. You get it. Look, you got to get it from the back. And this is how, right there, boom. This is how you hold a crawfish. Pet you?
Yeah.
You're not going to pet you.
Why?
But you want to hold it like that because of the pinchers, obviously. But so, you want to hold it?
Yeah. Pee-pee.
Well, get it. You want to hold it? Get it. It's not going to pinch you. Because you're not going to let it. Ah, yeah. See, now this is a small one right here. That's a little guy right there. But overall, I mean, we got, oh, good job. Give me 5. He put it in there. We got some medium size, you know. If you want another one, why you put it back? That one got big pinchers. But, you know, you can get some that are like lobsters, man, like baby lobsters. And those jokers are good. But, so we're just gonna put this, wait, one more. You got it? I don't know if my comment stopped working, but, my last one is Killer Tay saying hi, so, I've noticed that when I'm doing the StreamYards, man, my comments, everything will work good for a little while. And then it just seems like I'll stop getting a comment, which sucks because then people might think I'm ignoring them. But I'll never ignore anybody, man. That's not my gig. All right, we gotta put the net on them because when it fills up with water, they're gonna want to. I grabbed a one more. Oh, look, this one got little pinchers. Look, see, this one got little pinchers. See, it'll be okay. But, so we're just going to lay this chicken wire out on top. And we're going to, you got it? Okay, put it in there. Good job. We're going to put these fence posts, these little, not fence posts, but T-posts on top. Like that. Just to keep that net, that wire down. No, we don't need another one right now. No, we're gonna let them clean. They're taking a bath. They gotta get clean. Yeah, they're taking a bath right now. They're getting clean for us. Yeah, I see. You see him moving around? Yeah, the crawfish. Yeah, they just. Oh! Ay, that joker got me. I was trying to move that net down a little bit. That wire. There we go. There we go. We're looking good. If we get an escapee, it should just be an isolated event. Oh, yes, yeah. Look at that. Oh! That's that wire. Yeah, they're taking a bath. They're getting cleaned up for us. Because that way they're nice and clean when we eat them. Okay. So the temperature right now is the wind's blowing and it feels pretty good. What, buddy? No, we don't need to put a rock in there. Put it back in the driveway. I would say it's about about 70 degrees. You know, it feels really good. I'm barefoot and I'm in a tank top, so it can't be West Carroll Parish in northeastern Louisiana until 12:45 p.m. Yeah, I'm in southwest Louisiana. I'm in southwest Louisiana, but I'm in a tank top, and it's actually feels pretty good. We definitely are gonna get some rain. That's why I got the table set up and the chair set up. I wanted to pretty much have it all set up before the rain came. I hate, being soaking wet and trying to, cook or entertain or whatever. That's just not, it's not my bag, baby. But, let's see. I thought we had some, fold out chairs. The wife, I see. The wife might have put them up. But you say you're still in South Carolina, right? That's where you live at now. What are y'all paying for a pound of crawfish up there? Usually, normally a sack of crawfish down here. Last year, I spent $500 on a crawfish boil. I had 3 sacks, I think. But you're gonna spend about $100 on your sides, your corn, potatoes, onions, seasoning, all that jazz. You're gonna spend about that. But last year a sack was $100 a sack for 30 pounds. And that's uncooked. And this year I paid $55 a sack. So this COVID situation, I guess, is good for that reason, But matter of fact, here's a crawfish mound right here. I just stepped on it. But so we have these in our yard, and see these come up like a mound, but you can see that little hole. And on my Instagram, Hippies for Trump, just like the handle here, I was doing my flower bed, and a crawfish was right there watching me. And in my corn, I have a crawfish living over there. Some say crayfish, but it's crawfish, mud bugs. That's that good right there. I've heard crabs have been described as water spiders. That was kind of odd. I was like, I never heard that one before, but I guess I can understand the correlation. A water spider, but I've seen real water spiders, and so you got them. Let's see. Here, let me get the water out real quick, and then we're gonna throw that in the other ice. So if you're just getting here, I kind of just crawfish a while ago, but I'll go ahead and give it another little rundown. You need 1 pound of seasoning for every 15 pounds of crawfish. But today I'm not going to make them too hot. If there was a lot more people here, I probably would. We would be running probably a couple of extra sacks too. But you want, for every 15 pounds of crawfish, you want 1 pound of seasoning. And then I like to add butter, garlic, onions. Before I do my crawfish, I'll do like a 1 boil with some sausages, and I'll throw a bag of those little sausage in every boil. I'll throw them in the pantyhose so we don't have to fish them out with the crawfish. But I definitely will open up a couple of lemons, 2 big lemons for every boil, a pack of butter for every boil, and then you want to only boil once it's the water's at a rapid boil. You only want to boil the crawfish. That's what the bags of ice are for. You drop a bag of ice, and then you let them sit for about 10 minutes. But that bag of ice is going to shock that temperature. That way you don't overcook them. When you overcook them, that's when they get chewy and they're rough, hard to peel. And you want to prevent that by any means. Open that for a while. It's just the ice and that's some shrimp. and all while we celebrate the resurrection. But so you want to let them sit. Yes, yeah. The crawfish, man. That's the crazy thing about down here. That's in people's front yard. We live in a swamp. We live, I guess the basin of the Mississippi, and so yeah, we got that all in the yard, man. This is like the red gold right here. You got orioles, the black gold. You got real gold, but this right here, during normal season, boy. We're not going to hold it right now. People paying $6 a pound cooked. So what cost me $100, $110 raw, potentially that's what $300-400 right there cooked. So, but man, I love it. I love it. Yeah, to see. Talking about earlier with my grandpa owning all that a couple hundred acres on the Sabine River, we grew up catching crawfish and selling them to some restaurants and places down here. And the cottonmouths were bad. You could pull up a crawfish sack and you'll have a damn snake in there, because the snakes, especially the bigger ones, they'll eat them crawfish. And then you throw in, fish guts, cut up fish, maybe some chicken and stuff in the trap to attract the crawfish. Well, that also attracts the snakes. So you could be out there wading, because you got waders on your hip, hip waders, big old water boots. They can even be like overalls, and they go up to your chest. And so when you're wading out there in the marsh, you have a little pirogue, a little bitty boat, canoe type thing, and that's what you're throwing the crawfish in. And typically you would do it with somebody else. That way you could kind of have that person six. I mean, we're dealing with alligators and snakes and stuff. This is how we do it. Now commercially, they're in a boat. They got a canopy over them, so they're not in the sun, and they're just burnt, cruising around, checking traps. But we would set them traps out, and it would be like a hip high water, and we pull up them traps sometimes, and boom, there's a big old cottonmouth in there. My favorite thing to do as a child, and I still love it, was to go frogging. Man, there's nothing more fun than going frogging. It got out. Oh, he's trying to get out. And when you go frogging, you go about 1 o'clock in the morning. You definitely want to wait till midnight. And you want hold on. Let me dad spray this out real quick. And then the frogs sit on the bank, and you got a spotlight. You hold it, you hook it up to like a car battery, and you got a spotlight. And oops, hold on. And you go up on the banks, and you'll see the eyes. The eyes will glow green color. If you see red eyes, that's a predator. That's either going to be your alligator or a snake. But so you got the banks, and you pull up on that boat, and you got to go slow. But you hit them with that spotlight, and that spotlight like blinds them, and they, like the expression deer in the headlights. That's what the frogs get like. And you got to go back up behind them. They got a real thick spinal bone. It's real thin, but it's wide, and you grab them. Now, some people have like a gig, which looks like a pitchfork on a stick. And I don't necessarily, even though you got to grab that frog by the feet and whack them upside the head and knock them out to start cleaning them and stuff, I don't like stabbing them with that pitchfork for some reason. You got it? Look at you. Show me. Look, hold on. Let me put the camera around. Hold on. There we go. Look. Hey, what is that? That's a crawfish. Yeah, crawfish. This little man doesn't know fear, and it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. But yeah, so then frogs, some people will gig them, and I don't really like that, man. For some reason, I don't like stabbing that fork in them, because like when you're dealing with hogs and deers, like as soon as you kill a deer, you want to cut, the testicles and the hog. Like when you're cleaning a hog, yeah, you feel the rain. Here, let's put him back, and so we can get out the rain. Look, come on this side over here. Come on this side over here. And so, like with the hog and stuff, when you're cleaning these animals, you don't want to hit the digestive tract, right? The stomach and things, because it can spoil your meat. So in my head, you know, I think that's why I don't like gigging the crabs, because I don't want to like puncture something and ruin my meat. I mean, that might not even be the case. I don't know. I just rather go and catch them by the hand. And then so that boat comes up on the bank, right? Because it's kind of like that, and you don't really want to go on a full moon with the see, because a full moon the frogs can see good and they're full, and so when it's not a full moon, they're kind of on that bank, spider webs, and see, that's what I don't really like about frogging. That the snakes, I mean, they're gonna be there, especially in the banks, because there's holes. And stuff, and that's where you never speared frogs, but ate frog legs a couple times. Hey man, the fresh frog legs, I mean, you could get them at certain seafood buffets, or maybe at the grocery store in the meat section. You can get frog legs, but there is nothing like going that night, getting you a sack, cleaning them and eating them. I used to gig largemouth bass from a pier with 4-prong and a 7-foot bamboo pole. Hey, that's cool. To gig a largemouth bass. Wow, that's interesting. You know, we got the cast net and stuff like that, but you know, spearing a largemouth bass, man, that's some caveman stuff, and I think I like that. That's pretty cool, man. But when you're going to get them frogs and you got that bank, you definitely have to watch out for spiders and snakes. You know, the gators and the snakes have red eyes. Where did my son go? Here, I'm going to mute this up real quick, because I'm going to have to holler his name, and I don't want to make y'all go deaf. He might have ran. I think he went inside, and I got to double check. The bass like to sit in the shade, and frogs like to sit in the shade. Hey, love, Corbin's in here, huh? Huh? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let me get the butter. Yes, yeah. At nighttime they're all out because that's like feeding time. But it's fun, man. It really reminds me of my grandma, and I think that's why I looked forward to that. You know, I was raised in Houston, but when school was out, I was down here in Louisiana, and my grandma, you know, that was probably her favorite thing to do, and then bass used to be huge back in the 70s. Yeah, 7 pounds and up. Yeah, I noticed that too. You know, like down here, if you get a 3-pound bass, you're like, oh man, I got a big one. But dude, my grandpa would fish Bassmasters. He's got trophies, and I got one in the room and stuff. You know, and bro, we got some bass, you know, mounted that are, you know, 9 pounds, 8-9 pounds. That's a big ass fish, man. You know, because realistically, a 3-pound bass is a decent sized fish. But them jokers that my grandpa had mounted, because that, you know, like you're saying, the 70s and all that, that was some big fish. I mean, they had some big ass turtles too. You know, they got like those metal tubs. I forget exactly how they go, like a 30, a 50, and a 70. I think that's how many gallons or whatever. But you know, they've caught turtles. Like, I am not shitting you. Like, you see how I'm doing my hands? Big ass turtles, man, out there in the swamp on the Sabine River that borders Texas and Louisiana. You know, but look, man, one time we was in the I wasn't there. I seen pictures, the actual Polaroid pictures. You know, you used to click it and then shake the like that, and you let that picture come out and stuff. So, he was out there, see, because he bought all that land. He paid $28 an acre. Now, you can't do nothing with it. It's 100% marshland. You mean, you really can't do nothing with it. But he had paid $28 an acre. And, I mean, shit, I think he paid $4,000 for his house. And now it's at the corner of the golf course, you know what I'm saying, in town. So, I mean, it's not like a fancy house or nothing, but it's just crazy. You go from, you know, my house is $110,000. You go from that to his is a little bit bigger, and it was like, you know, less than $5,000. $28 an acre of land. That's just mind blowing, you know. But so he had bought it. Yeah, loggerhead, exactly. He had bought it, and we called it the tie. He had got this barge and a backhoe, and he welded the backhoe onto the barge, brought it out there into the swamp, and he created a levee system, right? He like made ponds. There were several ponds. There were certain ways to get there. Each little levee had like a little aluminum or Pirogue boat, you know, canoe. And you would go from the camp to the yellow building. You would walk, you know, maybe a quarter mile to the first levee in the first boat, put all your stuff in there. And then you paddle or have a little trolling motor. And he created these levee systems in ponds with this backhoe on a barge, and we called it the tie. It's about 28 miles from where I'm at right now. It took him 8 hours to move that thing because he worked on it in town, welded it all together and everything. But the route they had to take just to, you know, for the shipment of it, to bring it out there, because you can't, you know, power lines, and you can't go down the interstate and blah, 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 blah. You know, it took him like 8 hours to move, you know, less than 30 miles. But anyways, so they're out there one day in the Pirogue, whatever, and they see something big on the surface of the water. You know, like fish or whatever, they'll kind of like go on the surface, and they might look like a snake head or something. But so they seen this big old thing come up, and they got that paddle, and because the water was real low, and so it really didn't have that much water. It might have, you know, might not have had a water, and that's why they seen it. But anyways, they get that, and every time it kind of come up, they hit that thing with that paddle, and dude, it is the biggest catfish I've ever seen in my life. I mean, we're talking about, he put a backhoe, like a top of a back, you know, like a tractor type thing with the claw, with the bucket, and he welded that on the barge, and that way he can be out there in the swamp and just scoop that, make his ponds, and use that scoop to build up his levee system. And you know, then you got the nutria-rats. If you've never seen a nutria-rat is like a damn dog. You know, like a schnauzer, a yorkie, a min pin. A nutria-rat have these big old tusks, and sometimes they'll die because these tusks will curl like that, and they'll go back up in here, you know, and end up killing them. I mean, imagine that. You know, you're dying because your tusk. D&D's, they closed at. I just got a text message from my Biff. Where did you find them? So, what up, Biff? Much love, brother. But they're at D&D's right there by Carlos. But they were from 8:30 to 10. So it was we paid $55 a sack at D&D's. $55 a sack right there by O'Rouse's in that fish on tackle. And one sack was 24 pounds. The other sack was 36 pounds. And it was $55 a sack. But yeah, so them nutria-rats, boy, you know, you have to kill them. I mean, right now, every tail you turn into wildlife and fisheries, you get $5 a tail. They're a total nuisance. I believe they were brought back in the 1700s by a Spanish, someone from Spain or maybe South America, and they were brought here to trap for their hides and stuff because they would make hats and things. And so they're a nuisance now. Nutria-rats are definitely a nuisance here in Louisiana. They'll eat up levee systems. which levies are good, especially like shipping. Yeah, them Nutri-Rats, boy, I'm telling you, them Nutri-Rats, them jokers are, look. I mean, them jokers are big, bruh. I mean, they're as big as my Schnauzer, my Yorkie, definitely. And they got some gnarly ass tusk, man. It's pretty wild. But they give you $5 a tail right now. You know, you got shipping canals and you got all kind of levies, and they'll totally tear it up, you know. And they adapt it really well in this climate and whatnot. So they're flourishing. Nutri-Rats are flourishing. Plus, you know, a lot of people are getting out. I mean, this is kind of like an old way of life, you know, the country life. And I mean, you got people that like to hunt, like duck hunt, but that's really all they'll do. You know, they'll go duck hunt with some friends, but they're not really living out there in the marsh, you know. So them Nutras really have taken over. I'm gonna flip this back around real quick. So the baby pool, I just got the water on real low. Let's see. You know, it's just in the water. You can see how dirty that water is. You know, a lot of people put salt, but really the salt is what you'll start getting dead crawfish. Now, maybe if you want to salt them up and let them sit for maybe 5 minutes in the salt or so, but that salt is really what. Yeah, look. Okay, you see my dog right here? A Nutri-Rat is at least that big. I mean, at least that big. You know. Them jokers do not play, boy. But the best way to really purge crawfish, and I learned this at this restaurant called Hawks. It was actually the inventor of the purging process, and it was invented at Texas A&M. And they had just rapidly running water, and you know, I believe they will drown. So in a second, I'm gonna have to sit my phone and kind of dump it and then fill it back up, you know. But you know, the best way to really is just to run water through them. You're wanting to wash them off, even though you eat the shell and you peel them. You still don't want to boil the muddy water. Yeah. So basically, I'm cleaning them out. You know, when you boil the crawfish, you don't really clean your water out every time. So I'm emptying the water, and then you don't really clean your water out every time. And then so when you're alternating boils with your vegetables, your corn, potato, and stuff like that, you know, that will still soak up the water. And so you want them clean. Now, some people say, like, you know, the salt will cause them to throw up and stuff, which will be the case. I'm about to go get some, but you don't want to let them just sit in salt water. Like, you just want to do a quick little, you know, purge bath with the salt, but not for long, you know, not for long. And you know, you only boil them for about 2 to 3 minutes, and as soon as you cut that burner off on 2 to 3 minutes, with chewy, they're not chewy. Let me get this net out the way. I'm gonna get this other thing. I'll probably just do it with my hand. There's so many though. But you want to let them sit for about 10 minutes after you cook them, because that's when they're gonna soak up all the seasoning. Come on, guy. Wetty, buddy. Huh? They got out. They all got out. Yeah, don't let them pinch you.
Why?
Because I don't want you to cry. It kind of hurt a little bit when you get pinched. And the way you know that, hey, what's up, Jay? What up, Conservative Patriot? The way you know that if they're dead or not is their tail will be flat, right? So as long as that tail, when you cook them, as long as that tail is curled, you see it? As long as that tail is curled, you know that's good. You don't want to eat the tails of the crawfish that are flat. That's a dead crawfish, dead before you put it in the pot. And but you see how they kind of look lethargic a little bit. They've been in the cooler. Oh, It's starting to rain. They were in a cooler, and then they've been on ice, so they're just coming back to life right now. I just had that full of water. I just emptied it out because crawfish, they'll drown. There's a worm right there. They they come up for oxygen, so I don't want to sit. I don't know when we're gonna boil them. Everybody's kind of still laying around, going through their Easter basket, and just kind of chilling. I'm out here just getting things ready. I'm gonna cut up my onion, or take the skin off the onion here in a minute, and I'll get my garlic ready. Every batch, I like to throw a clove of garlic. And the good thing about doing your vegetables first is it gives all the seasoning with your onions and all that stuff. It just gives it a little extra flavor. I like to put at least like two big lemons with every boil. I really like the way lemon tastes with seafood. That little guy got me. But look, you can see him. You can't get me. No, I meet you. But I'm just excited. I'm sure, Biff, if you're still in here, if y'all want to ride over here, man, I mean, I'm not opposed to any of that, man. We got 60 pounds, so, it's pretty much just gonna be, it's just gonna be the family. If mother-in-law's coming over or not, but the next door neighbors, that's where we're doing it at, under the carport, because it's starting to sprinkle and rain. But if you get bored or something later and you want to come swing by, man, bring the kid and bring little man and the wife or whatever, and y'all come on. But we were just gonna do one sack, but then I like to peel them and have like crawfish étouffée and stuff like that. Man, I love crawfish étouffée. That's one of my favorite meals. It's like a red sauce. Like gumbo is a brown sauce. And then you got a couvillon. You got a étouffée. Étouffée is it's really more like an orange color. And then you got a fricassee and a couvillon. A couvillon, a fricassee, that's like a red sauce, which is tomato based. I'm live streaming. Where a roux is it's flour and oil, grease, and you like fry that flour. You have to constantly move that flour around because it burns easy, and that's what creates the roux for a gumbo, and that's what gives you the brown sauce. So fricassee and the couvillon is tomatoes. But any leftover, and I got 2 pounds of shrimp. So any leftover meat, I like to peel them and make because you get full, man. You got the rice, corn, and the gravy and stuff. And I mean, crawfish is awesome by itself. You got shoe? Okay. Get mom's flip-flops for me, please, sir. Yeah, Corbin's outside. And let's see. I got the seasoning right here. So this is 4.5 pounds right there. I caught those on sale, man. These are normally, I don't know, $7 maybe, something like this. And I had caught them on sale for $1 last year, at the end of the crawfish season last year. And I came home with them, and I've given them away and everything. I think I bought like a dozen or something. And I've given some away, and we got some. But I can't, them damn sales, they'll give me every time. I cannot walk past the clearance section, and if it's a good deal, I just can't refuse it. Oh, I'm going to get a thing of salt. Let's see. I know I got some down here too. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. So, what do y'all got planned for today? anything y'all are looking forward to? Just hanging out with the fam. Probably gonna do a little quick rundown one more time, and then I'm probably gonna end this. I mean, we're about at an hour, so I'm gonna run it down one more time what we're doing, and then in a little bit I'll go live again, and that way y'all can see some more live action. But I like putting little sausages. I got these for the kiddo. These have cheese in it, but sausage, carrots, corn. I don't think I've ever used like fresh corn. Typically we always use the frozen corn, but garlic. You gotta have the garlic. Mushrooms. I got one little small pack of the mushrooms, and you put the your little sausages and mushrooms in a pantyhose. You just throw them in there, tie a knot, throw them in the boil. But that way you don't have to fish them out when you're digging through your crawfish. And then onions, I will throw onions in every boil, and potatoes. So first I'll do like a half a bag of seasoning, and then I will do my vegetables, because your first seasoning's not really hot. It's towards the end your seasonings get really hot. So I'll do that. That way the younger ones and the people that don't really like the spicier food, that way they can enjoy the vegetables with their crawfish. But you definitely put the butter in there, and you only let them boil 2 to 3 minutes. As soon as you cut your burner off, you add a bag of ice. You want to stop the cooking process. But you let them sit for 10 minutes. They're getting away? We get them. Don't you worry about that. We're going to get them. You got them? Oh, it pinched you? Oh, yeah. It's okay. We're going to get them back. Trying to open up the salt. But, so I'm just going to do a little bit of salt. Like I say, I'm not going to let them sit long with it. You want to do it? All right, you do it. But that way, this is what this is going to do, is going to cause them to like throw up, right? And so they're going to throw up all the dirt out of their the poop chute, and it's going to clean that vein, like when you devein them or whatever. This is what's going to get that clean vein. But you don't want to really let them sit in this. No, you don't want to really let them sit. You got to sprinkle it. Don't put it all on one. You got to sprinkle it around. You just want to maybe like 2 minutes, no more than 5 minutes, man. But really, you don't even really have to salt them. You don't even have. That's like a misconception people have. But this process was invented by a guy. His family owns a restaurant, and I believe it's Hayes, Louisiana. I think that's where it's at. But it's called Hawks, Hawks. And we had heard about this restaurant, and we have never been there before. And it's amazing, here in Louisiana. I mean, this is Cajun capital, and there's so many kind of ways to do this. And but those, however, were the absolute best crawfish I've ever had in my life. They were just so fluffy and just like, I mean, my God, it was the best crawfish in my life. And so at the table, they have like a little pamphlet, and it talks about the process, and he invented this process at Texas A&M agriculture. And what he does is he's got vats, and he just keeps running water, no salt. He just keeps the running water, and it flushes them out. I think they purge for 24 or 48 hours. And man, y'all talk about the cleanest taste, the most just fluffiest, best crawfish I've ever had in my life. And so up until then, I thought, you can see how that salt's kind of making them stop moving. But up until then, I always thought you do the salt, but the best way, I think, is just, you let them sit. Now, we don't have a lot of time, and I know this is going to they're freshwater creatures, so that salt water kind of makes them throw up, and it helps clean out their track. But because they are freshwater, you don't want to shock them with the salinity level, because salt does bring up the salinity level. What, buddy? Oh, I'm not going to put water in there right now. But, yeah, so, it looks like my comments might have stopped working again. You gotta love that. But, if you got any questions, man, you know, you can, when I end the video, just leave a comment, and I'll see if I can answer any kind of questions that you got. I definitely will be live streaming in a little bit again. I just want to kind of get the pot set up, the burner, the propane, get my lemons cut, get, you know, the skins off the onions and things like this. So I'm gonna do a little bit more prep, and then after my first batch goes out, I will, or what I'll do is, I'll go ahead and, because you only boil them for 2 to 3 minutes, I'll go ahead and just live stream a boiling process and how I do it. That way, people will be out there that can maybe try my recipe or my method and see if they like it. But yeah, you know, I emptied the water already, and you can see how dirty this water is, you know, already. So if you do the salt, just make sure that it is just for a few minutes. You know, you can see how, you know, this salt will definitely kill them. Yeah, you can see that tail getting flat right there. Yeah, you know, you definitely don't want to keep them in the salt long. You just basically want them to throw up from the salt water. And then you want to flush them out. You want to clean them real good, and you want to get all that salt off there. That salt is what's going to kill them. You know, so, but, this is just a quick purge. You know, I still think the best method is just to have that water on low. But I do like a good clean crawfish. So, but it was definitely awesome hanging with all y'all. I'll definitely be streaming again probably in about an hour. So check back, maybe an hour and a half. But don't forget what this day is all about, and give thanks and repent, you know. And hope everyone has a wonderful day with their whoever they choose to spend it with. And if you're spending it alone, you know, make the best of it. You know, maybe today would be the day you treat yourself. You know, do something special for you. You know, and just don't forget to give thanks and grace. So I'll see all y'all back in a little bit, man. Until then, y'all stay safe and have fun. Much love to everyone. Peace.